internet. I'm Michaela Kirstein, if you don't know me, and in 19 days I'm going to be doing Live Below the Line. Live Below the Line is a charity fundraiser event where people buy their food for 5 days with the amount of money that somebody in extreme poverty would have to live. Now, the amount of money internationally defined that the amount of money that internationally defines extreme poverty is $1.25 US to live on each day, and that's including paying for accommodation, transport, water, food, clothing. Yeah, it's really but you know what? A lot of people actually have less than that. Less than $1 US per day. And yes, in some countries you can buy more for $1 than you would be able to in our countries, but it's still not much. Let me show you now some of the people who live for that amount of money. This is Elder. He is 12 and a half. He lives in Peru. He is one of my Compassion sponsored children, or Tier Fund. I don't actually sponsor him. I sponsor him by being a correspondent sponsor, which means that his other sponsor doesn't want to write letters and receive his letters, so I'll do that and they'll pay the money. If you didn't know that existed, it does. So when you get these information sheets from Tier Fund, at least, you can turn them over, and it has information about the place where your child lives on the back. It says the average amount of money that an adult would earn in a month in Elder's community is $115 per month. I'm going to assume that means New Zealand dollars, which is really not much. And I've divided it by the amount of people in Elder's family, even if his parents both earned that amount of money, and they would have like $1 each day. Now, if you think that's bad, this is my other sponsored child. Her name is Manthasha. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. Now, she lives in Mumbai, India. I've had the privilege of going to India twice. I absolutely love India, which is probably why I wanted to sponsor a little girl in India. And she's about to turn 6. By the time I've started Live Below the Line, she'll have turned 6. Happy birthday, Manthasha! Okay. But in her community, an adult will earn about $60 per month. And her father would be her main provider, because it's taboo for women to work, and especially in that community. So I have done the maths, but I've forgotten it. That's like $60 for a month divided by 30 days, which is $2 per day, and that's for the father, the mother, and 2 daughters that they have. So that's like 50 cents a day. Did you know that people actually live on that amount of money? I've seen the prices in India. Yes, they're lower than prices in New Zealand, but it's still ridiculous. It really is. Okay, but if you thought that was bad, this is my other correspondent's child, Noureddin. He lives in Burkina Faso, and it says here that half of the adults in his community are unemployed, but some work as day labourers and earn the equivalent of $25 per month. Now, I assume that that probably is the amount that they'd earn in summer by working, doing seasonal work, harvesting their crops in summer or autumn, and then the amount that they'd earn during that time is divided by the months of the year, possibly. But that's a ridiculous amount. So, yeah, Noureddin's parents are not steadily employed. They don't have like a secure job that they can count on to last every day, and neither do any of these kids' parents. That's how some people live, on less than $1 a day. So I'm going to live on $2.25 New Zealand dollars each day. And I'm making a big deal about that, putting it all over my Facebook, posting like every thing about it on my Facebook, because I'm trying to raise awareness, and I'm trying to raise money. I'm trying to, if possible, persuade people to join me. Be crazy with me! Starve yourself! But keep in mind that people do live on so much less than what we'll be living on and live below the line. It's heartbreaking, some of the things that I hear from the letters that I receive from these children's pastors. They write a letter each year. I also do have one other sponsored child. I don't know exactly how much they live on. I don't sponsor him through Compassion. I sponsor him through the partner organization of his orphanage. But I did send them an email earlier this year asking about sponsoring children, and they said to me that they find to look after one of the children for a month, it takes about $50 US. Congratulations. I mean, looking after a child for a month for $50 US. That's amazing. Which means that they're not living, if that was like the main income for a month, and if they had that for every child, they wouldn't be living below the $1.25 US poverty line, which is great. Yay! One person who isn't living below the the $1 a day poverty line, whatever it is. It's not a US poverty line, it's global poverty line. But they would be living below the $2 one if that was like the main income. But actually, a lot of the children in that orphanage, in that children's home, don't have sponsors. So, yeah, if you want to help out and sponsor one of those kids, let me know. He's not a kid, actually, he's a teenager, but same thing. So, yeah, those are my sponsored children, the connections that I have. Also, I've been to India and seen the children in that orphanage that I just talked about, and met a lot of different people in India, and yeah, it's a real passion of mine to help the poor. There is because it's not that they're poor and they're lowly. They're actually people. They have feelings, they have stories. They're just like you and me, and the world is not fair. And the situations that people have to live in. And to speak of that, this year Live Below the Line New Zealand is fundraising especially to combat human trafficking. Now, if you want to read about human trafficking, read my blog. You want to know what human trafficking is? It's basically slavery. You thought slavery had died out. You thought it was abolished with the abolishments in America. You know it wasn't, because all around the world there are still slaves today. People are enslaved in many different ways, and I want to debunk a theory that the organisers of Live Below the Line are circulating. Extreme poverty, and poverty in general, does not cause slavery, because there are many people who are slaves, and it is not because of poverty. Even rich kids from American kids in the US, teenagers who run away from home, often get picked up and exploited and used as slaves. So don't think that slavery only happens to the poor, because it happens to many different people, and nobody is actually immune. However, slavery does make people very desperate, and teenagers in these poor environments who have no dreams, many of them have been forced to quit school and go and work to support their family, and they don't have the option to go to university. They don't have the option to choose whatever career they would like. They might have had hopes and dreams once, but they just don't have a realistic hope. And people come to these teenagers and they say, "Oh, I can offer you a job if you'll come with me to this other city," and it's attractive, but it's a trap. It's slavery. They're tricked and bonded into, forced into many different kinds of slavery. The money that we're raising is going to charities that help to rescue and rehabilitate people from slavery, particularly young women who have been used as sex slaves, which is the most disturbing form of slavery. So it's a really worthy cause. If you want to donate, I'm putting links all over my Facebook and on this video. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on my Live Below the Line page, well, you're already there. You can click donate. If you want to do it as well with me, go ahead and do it. It's a really eye-opening experience. I've done it once 3 years ago. And if you want to sit around and read my blog posts, I really love it when you read my blog posts and comment on them, or tell me that you read them and ask me questions. So go ahead, read my blog posts. I'll be making some more videos. I'll be keeping you posted on my experience. I'm going to post my menu plans in a few days after I actually make them, of what I'm going to be eating for $1 or $2.25 per day or less. So, see ya! Bye!